Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to attend the second session of the G20 summit in Rome, which is the world's biggest summit in the post-pandemic era. The summit will help global leaders agree on a roadmap for a sustainable, green and speedy recovery from the coronavirus. Sunday's session will focus on climate change and the environment. Prime Minister Modi, who is currently in Rome at the invitation of his Italian counterpart Mario Draghi, will conclude his two-day trip to the country. Next, he will be travelling to the United Kingdom to attend the COP26, which begins today. Prime Minister Modi attended the first session of the summit on Saturday, where he discussed the global economy and health, along with a host of world leaders. Taking to his official handle on Twitter, Prime Minister Modi said that the proceedings of day one were extensive and productive. Among the topics highlighted by Prime Minister Modi at the G20 summit were India's contributions in the global fight against COVID-19, the vision of One Earth, One Health, furthering innovation in healthcare, and leveraging technology for human empowerment. On Saturday, Prime Minister Modi met his Singapore counterpart Lee Hsien Loong on the sidelines of the G20 summit. The leaders discussed ways to further scale up the friendship between India and Singapore. Their talks focused on trade, culture and other subjects. Earlier, Modi also met Pope Francis and invited him to visit India. According to sources, the meet was very warm and cordial. A meeting that was scheduled to last for only 20 minutes went on for an hour. During the meet, the two discussed pandemic recovery and poverty eradication.
Thank you very much for your visit. I'm happy. It's an honor for me, very happy. And I would like to see you in India. It is my great honor to receive you there.
Yes, thank you very much. And pray for me, don't forget.
Your prayers are always giving me strength.
Thank you.
Prime Minister Modi also held his first face-to-face meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron. It was the first time or the first meeting between the two leaders after the AUKUS controversy. Nearly a month ago, Modi and Macron held a telephonic conversation where the two had discussed Indo-Pacific and bilateral ties. Prime Minister Modi's visit comes at a time when the world is looking to India to set an example in sustainable and speedy pandemic recovery. According to the IMF, India will remain one of the fastest growing economies in the post-pandemic world. According to IMF's latest projections, India's economy, which contracted by 7.3% due to the COVID-19 pandemic, is expected to grow by 9.5% in 2021 and 8.5% in 2022.
Emerging economies resent how much rich countries have polluted in the past and demand financial help to support them in this transition. They also wonder whether any commitments we'll take are indeed credible, given our past failings. We must listen to these concerns and we must act on them, but we cannot sacrifice our collective ambitions. We need to set long-term goals that are consistent with the objective of the Paris Agreement and make short-term changes to achieve them. We must accelerate the phasing out of coal and invest more in renewable energy. We also need to make sure to use available resources wisely, which means that we should become able to adapt our technologies and also our lifestyles to this new world. And as we move towards these goals, we must help countries around the world deal with and adapt to the effects of climate change. The decisions we make today will have a direct impact on the success of the Glasgow summit and ultimately on our ability to tackle the climate crisis. But the COP26 must signal the start of a permanent campaign. Every year, we should ask ourselves, if we have done enough to change course, and if future generations will look back at us with gratitude or with resentment. Let me open now the discussion, and I suggest we contain our interventions within 3 minutes. It's now my pleasure to leave the floor to King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of Saudi Arabia, and he will intervene with a video. Thank you.
All right, that was Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi addressing the second session of the G20 summit, where he says that the world cannot sacrifice their long-term goals. He says that the 2015 Paris Agreement should be enhanced. He also says that the world needs to use available resources widely, and we have to adapt to technology and lifestyle to the new world, adapt to the effects